And we are live, guys. Simon, my man, how are you doing out there?
Uh,
Sorry we're running late. That was all Alan's fault.
Well, I know what it's like. You got to get your land legs back. You were out in the tough life of the sea for the 4th of July weekend. Just
Yeah.
horrible weather.
Yeah, it was
I'm
terrible
good,
out
man.
there.
I'm good. It's hot. It's hot for us Pacific Northwest people today, man. I mean, we're encroaching upon 90, and I know that's nothing for most people, but that'd be like 120 in Vegas. That's the equivalent.
Right, right.
But doing good. Yeah, doing good. I could definitely
Cool.
go for a little like uh some fruit. Oh my gosh, I'm brain farting now. Ice cream. I could go for some ice cream.
Little homemade vanilla ice cream on the porch.
Yeah, yeah, homemade's delicious. Oh my gosh, don't
Yeah,
threaten me with a good time.
with some fresh peaches on top. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
all
yeah,
about
homemade.
that.
Yeah, we got the. Yeah, we jar our own peaches, man. We do that.
I'm in the process of doing, I have apricot trees and nectarine trees. So it's a
Oh,
project.
nectarines are
Yeah.
so good. They're probably
Oh,
my one of my top three fruits.
yeah, they're really good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
Simon, sorry. I owe an apology to everybody here. I was running late, but I was doing one of my favorite things to do. I was making a YouTube video for everybody who's an XRP fan tomorrow. So
All
that's
right, sweet.
going to be fun. I had a blast.
You know,
I was driving around thinking about that video for 2 days. I was like, I got to get it out of my head. So should be good.
I know what that's like. I did a video yesterday, random. Um, Mr. Man had posted some. He's always posting awesome information. I'm not. He always posting awesome information, and he posted the completion of a promissory note transaction on on the XDC network. So I had to go there, read that, talk about it, and send it out to the peeps. Because that coin too is going to mint some millionaires. Mark my words.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some amazing interest and news over. I'm just going to call them the ISO coins over the last probably 6 months, but this last
Mm-hmm.
month has come in hot and heavy. It's
Yeah.
just been announcement after announcement. It's fun stuff. So I see
Yeah.
we got Sammy in the house. Solar Sam. That brother right there is helping a brother out. I will tell you that right now. That man is helping me
Oh,
out
I know
big
who
time.
that is. I've heard stories. Yeah, I've heard stories. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard stories.
He is a
Are they the one
fine
that gave
human
you
being.
the Tesla battery idea?
Um, no, he and
Oh, okay.
he, I kind of approached him with the Tesla battery idea,
Okay.
but he's a expert in the field. I mean, truly, guys, an expert in solar, and so therefore, he really helped me out. My computer is completely glitching out right now, so hopefully, you guys can see me.
Okay. Do you got me?
Uh, I do. I hear everybody.
Cool.
It's just
That's
it's
good.
jumping up and down all over the place. What do I care? I don't need to see that. Okay, we can deal with technical difficulties. We're used to that on a boat. As long
Yeah.
as the ship is
Yeah.
still sailing, we're good. But I'm not going to be able
Yes.
to get
Yeah. 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 We just
content.
we just need to. Yeah. Everybody's saying we're good. They can hear us. So as long as they
Cool.
can hear, it really. I mean, really doesn't matter
No,
as long as you
that's
hear
right.
the words, right?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Here. That's cool. That's cool. So, Alan,
Yes,
uh,
sir.
how's the policy thing going for you?
Good. We are. Let me just. That's a loaded question, my man.
I
That's why
know,
you
I
started
know,
it.
I know, I know, but this is, I mean, you're
Uh,
literally like you, myself, and a few others that I know of. We are all like, we're stepping to this kind of together, but maybe a few are like, maybe like a couple weeks behind or a month ahead in just their journey with this. So I always like
yeah,
to check in to say, oh, hey, what are you doing over there? You know, well, where you at? What's
yeah,
going on? You know, just a quick how to go. You know, that kind of a thing.
yeah.
So yeah, how's the
It's
policy going?
well, thankfully, I mean, I have the ultimate partner in life when it comes to keeping things organized. Her education background before she was an attorney was bookkeeping. So thankfully, she's covering almost all of that side of the deal, if you will. The one thing was that I'm struggling with now, which is a lesson learned for all of you going forward, was we bit off a little bit more than maybe we should have to begin with. And we got all excited and did two policies, and they're not huge, but they're pretty big, you know what I mean? And it's just like,
Right.
uh-oh, oh, now we got to buy that. We got to pay for that. So
Hmm.
with that on top of adding additional solar and boom, 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 you know how it is. We're just a matter of trying to put it all together right now. But
Yeah, yeah. You're
yeah,
switching. You're really. I mean, you're switching up the flow of money. That's kind of a big thing.
that's right.
Yeah, that's huge.
And And the other thing is too, I don't want to really say this because I don't want to encourage somebody to do the same thing. But we're going all in on it. I mean,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
all in, obviously, because we have so many other investments as far as crypto and precious
Right,
metals and whatnot.
right, right.
Uh, but when you get the concept of this thing and when you really understand it, and when you know the way banks have been, see, our whole life long, we've been suspicious of banks. But the more you get into sound money and the more you understand about how the system works, the more you start to really realize that, yeah, those people are taking from us and they're making a lot of money because of us. Well,
Mhm.
then when you get into this becoming your own banker, you understand that you've been lied to about interest rates. Because honestly,
Mm,
now this is going to
mm,
sound crazy,
mm.
right?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
This has, believe it or not, they don't make their money on interest rates from you. I know that sounds crazy and weird, but it's what the public focuses on. It's what the Federal Reserve preaches. And it's what the system throws in your face as to, well, hey, you've got to get this 30-year loan. And boy, you better get it at 2.19 more than 2.39, and it's this whole little game they play with you. But when you really get into IBC, you start to understand it's the principle. It's it's not it's not the 5% interest. I'm going to use 5%. It's the $1,500 you're giving them every month that you're not getting back. That's the key. Like everybody does, we work the other way. We don't understand that all the money goes to the bank. All the money. Your paycheck goes to the bank. All payments go to the bank. Well, it's the principal
Mhm.
that keeps coming in the door that they get to do stuff with the next day. That
Yep.
principle. Well, you need to find a way to retain the $500 credit card payment, the $700 car payment. That right there is what is it, $1,200 that should be landing back in your account, not B of A's. Now, I know I simplified
Right.
that really simply and made that as simple as possible to everybody. But when you get there, when you understand that concept, you're winning. You're retaining your own wealth. And so there, it just makes you want to spend, oh, I spent $5 at In-N-Out Burger today. Oh my God, I should have, put that into my Like it went to
Don't do that. I'm gonna feel guilty already.
yeah, right. Yeah, but
I do feel guilty. I'm like, this is not how it goes.
right,
This is wrong.
right.
Yes,
So all
yeah.
this that
Sorry.
money is lost to
Continue.
you. That principal
Yeah,
is
it
lost
is.
to you.
Gone. Money
Gone,
gone. Money gone.
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 But if you had paid yourself or become your own bank, your expenses for the month would be going back into your account. And that burger that you would have paid for, you could have got back the principal of. I know it sounds
Yeah.
weird, but once
Yes.
you understand that, once
Yes.
you understand
It's
that, this is
yeah.
easy.
Yes. See, the concept of the bank always gets the principal back. Always.
Always.
Bank gives money to me, so I get burger. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I eat burger. I pay bank back for the burger. Principal got back. That's how that works. I know. Now in this process, you're gonna do what we all do and say, well, I'm just doing this. So, oh, well, I'm just doing this. Like, well, yes, you are. You're like 3, almost 4 different people in like one transaction. And when you catch at what point you're who in the transaction, all of a sudden you want to be the best debtor in the world. You're like, I love borrowing money. It's the greatest thing on the earth. You know,
Yeah.
I love my own personal debt. Hell yeah. Hey, what can we borrow? Do I have
That's
anything
right.
to borrow right now? Am I all borrowed out? You know,
Right.
yeah, it's tough because we have to rethink our thinking.
Yeah.
We have to rethink our thinking. Nelson Nash says that all the time. Or he'll say, you're stinking thinking. How you
Stinking
think
thinking.
things go. Yeah, you're stinking thinking. Yeah. Go ahead.
Stinking thinking is actually an old term from before Nash's time.
I'm sure.
What's that?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
you've got stinking thinking came from the greatest salesman. What was his name? Anyway, it'll come to me. He's great. Okay. That term comes from now. I can't remember the guy's name, but I know how it came to be. He was teaching people how to be a salespeople, a great salesman. He says, okay, so if you're at work and you're thinking about fishing or your house or what you're going to do on your day off, you're in trouble. And if you're at home and you're thinking about sales, you're in trouble. That's stinking thinking. Because when you're at work, you got to be crushing work. Did you freeze on me, brother? No, I froze. One of us did. Did you guys catch that?
I'm still here.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, that's where
yeah.
that term
If your thoughts are not on,
yeah.
If you're thinking about what you want to do after work, you're in trouble because you're not thinking about what you should be doing at work.
That's right.
In the sales,
that's how he's like. If you're not crushing it at what you're doing at the moment, it's sort of like I feel bad when people tell me, "Oh man, I'm at work and I'm watching your video, Alan." I'm like, "But wait a minute. Unless your work is XRP or Bitcoin, like, well, you're not. What are you doing, man? You're like, you're splitting your attention span, you know." But I get it. It's the world we live in.
Yes.
But, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Surprise stream. Absolutely. Yeah, Bobby T.
Thinking, man.
We decided to every Tuesday night, Bobby, we are going to talk about IBC. That would be Simon and I. And it's going to be a educational show of what Simon and I figured out, what we did wrong, and what we've learned lately about infinite banking mainly. I really, as I know you do, Simon, I really think that we both feel the same about this, but I don't want to speak for you. But I would have to say, other than crypto, the single greatest thing I've learned in the last few years has been how to become my own bank and what it means to become your own
Mm-hmm.
bank.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can
Mm-hmm.
pull that off, you're going to find ways to create generational wealth beyond crypto, with crypto as well, but beyond anything.
Right.
Once you understand what I just not so eloquently explained in the first 10 minutes of this video, once you understand that, and that's how you get out of bed and you look at money, your life's going to change.
It
Will just
will.
change.
I can
Yeah.
second that, and it will change, and it will be forever changed. This is one of those things for me. It's one of those
Mhm.
things that once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's there.
Yeah.
It's Nelson Nash would say this is caught, not learned, and that's true because you catch it. I mean, you got it. It's
That's
there.
right. Yeah.
And it's which is great and powerful. Um,
Mhm.
the only other thing that I know that's done this to me is crypto, right? What crypto, same thing. Just I caught it, I got it, and now it's like, oh, I want all in, right? I want to be a part of this. This is going to be a um, at minimum a stepping stone, if not a pillar, on how I build my wealth in my life, right? And not just my life, but uh, you know, my family's life and the generational wealth. This is
Right.
this is the thing that's going to start me off, right? And I knew it.
Yeah.
And then I really, I was always looking for a phase two. What's the next thing? How do I incorporate something else? And I always thought about, okay, real estate, yes, check, but let's go further. And it was like, well, buying businesses. You should buy a business, not build a business, right? Go buy a business that someone's getting out. Okay, learn how to negotiate that price. And so I kind of went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the infinite banking concept was literally interjected into my life on a daily basis, and it's a business. It is a
It is.
business. Treat this like a business. And I'm in the banking business right now. I got my first
Mm.
loan today, actually. So I'm very
Nice.
excited.
Good for
I'm
you.
very excited. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's really
Yeah.
cool. I got my own personal contract for myself. I've already set terms as far as frequency of pay, how much interest my bank is charging me, and how profitable my business bank will be off of me, a debtor. So I'm
Yeah.
very excited to see how this all works. The timelines, the efficiencies, the whole coup de grace. I love it.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I didn't think really that I would have anything like this. And here this is, and it's been going on for centuries. It's worked.
Yeah.
It's proof in the pudding.
So neat.
So yeah,
I
I'm very, very excited to
this
teach this to the people.
Yeah, we have I dare say you understand the system a lot better than I do, so it's going to be great to you can help me learn some of the nuances as well going through this. But the thing that I really the thing that it's taught early, and I'm going to repeat this probably every show, but it's so important. when it says becoming your own banker, okay, that means you are building a bank.
Mhm.
You're building like you just said, Simon, you're building a business, and you're building this bank from the ground
Yeah, I'm
floor.
building a business.
They're
Mhm.
building a business, and it's a
That's
bank.
right.
Yeah. So
Yep.
you're building your own
Yep.
personal private bank, right? So
Yep.
it doesn't really have much to do with life insurance, but that's my opinion.
Right.
So what happens is when you start the project, or when you fund the thing originally, it's like, oh wow, we funded it, we're there, and it's like, no, you probably are not even going to break even the first year. That's just part of building a business.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
if you get
Right.
that, Well, I
Yeah,
mean, because that I had
I
to
know,
really get that, Alan. I'm glad you're bringing that up. I'm glad. Go
be-
ahead, continue. Sorry for
because
the interruption.
we get we get so wound up that we have this miracle plan for for the future of our family and our finances, and it truly is a miracle. But it's a miracle that it it's based on time, and that's what banking institutions understand. It takes years to build a profitable business. So year number 2 is probably about the time you're going to break even or close to breaking even, depending on the policy and what you're doing with it, right? But by year number 3, you're going to be making money. Now, you're going to make money through the whole thing. Don't get me wrong, but you're going to show profits year 3. And I'm saying all this because
Yep.
it, yeah, I'd say it depends on what you put in and
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
do.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's there. It can
yeah,
be there.
but
Yeah.
well, for instance, the compounding takes a whole year, right? So the first year
Yes.
hasn't compounded yet, but
Nope.
the second year does. So the second year, you're looking at 2 to whatever it is, depending on your interest rate, 2 to 4% compounded that year, that second year,
Right.
plus a
Mhm.
dividend, right? So by the
Yep.
time you hit third year, you're going to look at, depending on how much money you put in, you've made 5, 10, 15, 20 grand off of this policy. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. That's money that I didn't put in there, yet it's there and it's growing at a rapid rate. So
Hmm.
I say all that to say this. If you can look at this like it's your own business, it's just a side hustle, another one of the
Yeah.
many side
Yep.
hustles.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And this side hustle is simply going to teach you discipline. You have to be honest to yourself. You have to pay yourself first. And once you understand that discipline, you're going to look back within 5 years, 5 to 7 years, and I'm not kidding you, with very small startup money, you're going to have a close to $1 million company.
Yeah.
Be-
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Or more.
so
I've done the math on mine, and
or more.
I still look at it. And now what I'm looking at though,
But hang
Alan
on,
is
I got
yeah,
a
yeah.
final
I'm
point to
sorry. Yeah,
that.
I'm jumping ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I got a final point to that statement. Who right now would be pretty happy if they had a $1 million to possibly a multi-million dollar company 5 to 7 years from now? What would you be willing to do to start that business today? What would you be willing to do every 12 times a year to make that happen? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. You're building a company. You're building a way for your money to make more money day after day after day. And that perpetually grows and it compounds. And to the point where 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're not going to be able to you're going to be able to retire off of that corporation in 10 years or whatever, because it's going to be paying you a monthly income to live.
Yep.
That's
That's possible.
should be a conservative plan of everybody listening to this. Should be, in my opinion.
You forgot like the icing on the cake, Alan.
Oh, what is that, Simon? I teed the ball up for you.
This business doesn't get taxed.
Oh, darn it. I forgot about that. Yeah. Damn it. And I really wanted to pay Sleepy Joe. I really did.
You can donate all you want. Apparently, he's taking Bitcoin now.
Is he?
I'm pretty. He'd be, dude. There, I don't know. I don't know how legit it was, but I saw that some ex post something about he's taking Bitcoin for donations. I'm like, and I just thought, I'm like, it's probably the wrong address, anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
It's just you. I mean, we've had to be patient. Okay. I was reflecting on that today when I was driving around today. And I reflected on the fact that I've been in crypto about 8 years now, over 7 for sure. And I just think about what that policy would be like today, what I could have done in the last 7 years. And it's pretty interesting. It's something that everybody, it's so hard to look 5 and 7 years out, but time flies, guys. It really does. Take it from an old guy. Time really gets moving along. It really does. So next thing you know, you're going to turn around. You're going to have $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 in your company. And your company is going to be purchasing things that is earning you 6, 8, 10% interest annually. Plus it's compounding. Plus it's tax-free.
Yeah.
Plus it has
The compounding really, the compounding plus dividends and putting that dividends into the compounding for, 10, 20 years. Well, I'm going to say 20 years. Man, there's that hump moment where all of a sudden the efficiency kicks in of the compounding, right?
Yeah.
Something like this. Your second $1,000 to earn is easier than the first 1,000, right? Because you had to get $100 10 times to get 1,000. Same thing with $10,000. Your first $10,000 was the hardest to get,
That's
but
right.
getting the second $10,000 is relatively
That's right.
easy in comparison to the first, right? And so one day, as an example of what we're talking about here, and in the book, they do a different analogy in the Becoming Your Own Banker book. They talk about the penny. But how many double ups do you need starting with $1,000 to get to $1 million? 20.
That's right.
I only need to double up my money every 20 times to go from $1,000 to $1 million. I figured that out one day, just being bored in bed. Well, not really bored, just I was bored. I was bored in bed, staying up late, just turned off crypto. I was like, hey, I wonder how much investment I would need to get to $1 million if I had $1,000. How many times? And it was 20, and I was like, wow, that's put some things in perspective. And then the penny, the penny example. If a penny could double every day for the next 30 days, by the end of it, you would have more. Is it more than $1 million? I think it is. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And you really, even by day 20, you're like, it's not going to make. And I'm telling you, keep going, keep doubling it up every time, and booyah, there it is. And 30 double ups from a penny. Yeah. Holy crap. It's amazing.
Yeah. Chucky.
Yeah, Chuck, life insurance, brother.
Okay, let's clarify this. We are talking about, but I don't want your brain to shut off when we use the word life insurance, because that's not really the way I see any of this. The way I see this is I see it as you've signed a contract with a institution that is compounding money annually. You're caring less about what somebody dying or somebody getting a beneficiary than you are the fact that because that life insurance has enabled you to tag into their financial investment group that is massive, and they compound your contribution for you.
Yeah.
And you've obtained a contract to be part of their group. That's what you've really done here. This is less about life insurance than it is about a contract of, I'm good if I do this. I'm legal if I do this. This makes sense. This works for me. It works for them. We mutually do well together. That's the way I look at this whole thing.
Yeah, it's very much, I would agree with that. It's so not about the death benefit. It's more for the compounding and having an asset that we can have that's growing every year over year, as long as we keep watering the trees, so to speak, and that we can finance the things that we need in our life. And why would we do that? Why why would we want to personally finance the things in our lives versus go over to across the street like we currently are and giving them all of our money?
Why would you do that?
Well, you didn't. Well, I know why I did it. Didn't know there was another option on the table, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But now I do. And when I sat down and I took the hard look in the mirror and I added up just current things that I have loans on. I took that money. I took the amount that went to interest. I had to do a little digging. It wasn't fun, but
Yeah.
I did the hard look in the mirror and I saw how much money I'm just giving away to interest. By the way, that goes to somebody else's pocket, not mine. And
Right.
this contract and
Yeah.
this strategy, this concept right here allows me the ability to, yes, sir. Yeah. The ability to reclaim that money, all that money that's going to interest. I was going to buy the car anyways, right? I was gonna
That's right.
buy my
Yeah.
cheeseburger that Alan was talking about earlier today. I was gonna buy that anyways. Well, why
Yeah.
not keep the money, as much money as possible, within my own private personal banking system?
Yeah.
Sounds like good.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts on 401k? Okay, I'm going to give my personal thoughts on the 401k because now I'm just going to say the SIA phrase that everybody has to say. Okay, not financial advice. Now that I've clarified that, here's my opinion on a 401k. I would ditch it. I've ditched mine. Why? Because all those funds were going to someone else, and they're making big money off of my money. I get, if I'm lucky, I get minimal control. Like I can pick a few things, but if I want to collateralize it, oh my gosh, red tape city.
Right.
I don't like that. I'm kind of a JG Wentworth fan. It's my money and I want it now.
Right. That's right.
I want to be able to take my hard-earned funds and go put them in my investments that I'm choosing. So that's part of my crypto story, actually. Was because I could do the math. I have to give all this money over here to a fund that, okay, I don't pay on taxes. I don't get taxed today, but that's the bait, in my opinion. I don't pay taxes on it today, but I'm going to pay taxes on it tomorrow when I probably need the most in a point in my life where I need the most amount of funds, resources available to me. Like, dude, this does not look good because the government at any moment in time, if they feel it's necessary to, hey, sorry guys, we're going to tax the crap out of the 401k now because we need the money, they will do that. They might do it slow, but it's not out of their wheelhouse to not. The likelihood of that, I'm not going to discuss that. The possibility very much is there. And so for me, I'm mitigating the risk. If something's going to get screwed up in my financial world, it's going to be on me.
Yeah.
It's going to be on me. Being stacking up a crypto since 20.
I think.
Yeah. Good job, Chuck. I like that. That's a good play.
Yeah. Exactly. Chuck, if I had to answer the 401k, I would say if you are in a company or a position where you have to have one, definitely go with a company like I Trust Capital. And that way you can manage, you can manage what you buy with it. You can buy XRP or Bitcoin or silver or gold or whatever. And then that way you can manage it yourself and you're just taking responsibility for it. And
yeah,
you brought up a really good point. When's a good time to pay taxes on your money? Well, the answer to that's
now.
Or now it's better, but never.
Hey, look, if you got the gun to your head, you go, here you go.
Yeah. There never
I'm
is.
still having cheese. Yeah, there never is a good time. But if I had to pick at what point in my life that I could or not, then yeah. And I mean, but here's a very beautiful workaround that that literally benefits all party except for maybe the individuals with a fictitious gun to your head, so to speak.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
Chucky, you've come to the right place because Simon and I are not authorities on this whole project. The, both of us were so passionate about this. We both said to ourselves, wow, this is a game changer.
It
I
is.
love crypto. I like precious metals. I'm a big
Yep.
fan of sound money. I would like to
Yep.
see the financial institutions change. They will slowly, but in the meantime, I'd like to find something that makes money for me. I'd like to learn how
Right.
banks got rich, how the Rockefellers got rich, and that's pretty much what I like and what I like to talk about because it's been my lifelong study as to what I
Right.
like. And it's like, how do the rich make money? Well, there's a bunch of different ways they do it. This is the latest
Yeah.
way that I found out that they've been using for hundreds of years to do it just like this. As we go down the road, Chuck, we're going to have other stuff. We will help you learn what this all is about. And then one day we're going to be in a position to help you find the right person to help you. And that person will become more important to your life than us, but we'll always be here and you can always come back and tell everybody or yours or us how your experience was with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. The community.
we will
Um.
we
Yep.
will always be a community together.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because I've done it. Simon's done it. My wife and I have done it. So we have a mutual interest in this. But the really neat thing about it that I know you're looking forward to this also, Simon, is that what's going to happen, Chuck, is you're going to end up with, well, wait a minute. I got like 20 extra grand. What should I do with it? How am I going to make what I've got 20 grand I can pull out of this thing and I can earn money with it. What's the gang doing? What's the family doing? What ideas do we have? And then we're going to have like different people who have different opportunities are going to be able to post in
Yep.
this place right here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to
Mm-hmm.
show you
Mm-hmm.
how to use a DEX or how to use whatever to make more crypto, to make more money. That brings me back, Chucky, to when you end up XRP goes to $50 and you're standing there going, oh my God, now what? You know, if I don't even know if you have XRP, I assume you do. Now you're going to be like, I have a windfall. Okay.
Right.
What do I
Mm-hmm.
do now? Well, you have to learn to become your own bank because the skills that Simon and I, my wife, have learned over the last almost a year now for you, Simon, right?
A year. Yeah.
We,
Deep every day
yeah.
deep. And I know I'm scratching it.
The lessons we've learned, it's how to treat money the rest of your life. And once you get it, yeah. It's just going to make everything in your life so much easier. Let's just put it that way.
It will. And I would like to, Alan, I'm glad you kind of brought this up. You're talking about, you mentioned windfall and now what do I do? And
Right.
This, and Alan and I have talked at length of this, and as well as others, right? Other individuals, which I'm sure they'll be on the show. No doubt. Getting back to what I'm trying to say is that you should be learning now before you get to $50 XRP day. And the reason, otherwise you're going to be caught. You're literally going to be caught with your pants down, in what to do. Right. So, it's not a good place to be, at all, really. I mean, even on $50
sometimes it's
XRP
fun,
day,
but yeah.
well, if you're about to go skinny dip in the pool or something, sure, go for
Yeah.
it.
Depends on
Your house, your rules. I mean, whatever. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But your awareness and your education is key. If you know what's going on, you'll know what to do.
That's right.
And so you're as Alan's bringing to light, and this is one of the cool things I love about watching Alan's show, is his deep understanding of how money works. Okay, and he's only given us a sliver, right? But he'll drop the little nuggets in there, just little gems, something us to ponder and go, oh, that's
Mm.
interesting. You know, just moments, right? Ahas, or like, does that happen over here? You know, those types of things.
Yeah.
That's what this book did for me in a lot of different ways. And Nelson Nash really really drives it home, the a deep understanding of how money and banking and financial system works. Alan knows these things, has a really good understanding of how that works. For him, in conversations, Al, I'm going to throw some of your stuff out on Front Street, but not too much. When
Yeah.
I told him when I told him about this in this process, and he goes, oh, he's like, oh yeah, I've heard about that. And like for a while, like a long time. I'm like, what? You have? What are you doing this? Like tell me
No.
more, tell me more. Like he's like, no. I was like, okay, well here, read this book, listen to this. Here's some videos. This is where I'm at with it. Give or take. And it was like 3 days later, I was like, this makes total sense. And
Yeah.
Alan though, Alan was a little, he was a little upset. He's like, I could have been doing this.
I
I
know.
could have been
Yeah.
doing this all. He had this like, dang it, man! Like this is really cool. This is gonna help
Yeah.
us out, help out so many people. But dang, dude, I knew about this back then a little bit. Like I had, I heard whispers, but it made sense, and then I just kind of left
Yeah.
it on the shelf, kind of a moment. And I too had that back in 2021. I had another
Yeah.
fellow cryptotopian that same thing. But I'm glad I'm here now. I really am, very, very,
Yeah.
very much. But
That really brings
the awareness is key, Chuck. The awareness is
it
key.
is. Yeah. One of the things that really brings to light is there's a lot of people that just surf the internet and they surf YouTube channels
Mm-hmm.
and they associate themselves with successful people on the internet, but they're not doers. You know what I mean? They're people that like to talk and they like to get in chats and they like to be part of a team and a group and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
but they're
Mm-hmm.
not people who implement. You it Everything that Simon and I are talking about tonight, we've done. We're doers. We hear a good idea and it makes sound money sense to us. We pursue it. The difference between Simon and myself and 99% of the people on the internet is when it makes dollars and cents in our mind, we just do it.
Yeah.
That's how I got into XRP. That's how I got into crypto. The light bulb went off and I went, I'm doing that. I borrowed against my wife's car to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. And back then that's about all there was.
That's cool.
I'm not.
I'm imagining how that went down in that moment.
Yeah.
Though.
It was
Go ahead.
we were in a
It's good.
position
Go.
where
Yeah.
we had just previously paid cash for it. So I mean, it was kind of one of those things.
Okay.
We had a lot of cash,
Gotcha.
and it was a brand new car.
Yep.
But still, we're a doer. I'm a doer. I don't just sit around and talk about stuff. I mean, I do that on the internet, but obviously on my YouTube channel, I sit around and talk a lot. But I've never really, other than the free bot that you've done, I've never put a product on my channel because it's up to people to find what resonates with them as to what they're going to invest and how they're going to change their lives. This, I wanted to make a whole new channel about. That's how important this concept is to me the rest of my life. And I made it happen. I didn't just talk about it. We did it.
Right.
And thanks to my very, very diligent wife. Okay. We're all over this thing. I mean, we went in, we got our
that was so
test.
cool. She was like, it was like light switch for her. Super light switch. That was cool to see.
Yeah. It was because she's also a person, very intelligent person in her own field, but finance really isn't her major. You know, she's more of a person that when something makes sense, she's got it. And this is once you get the concept of this, you can't live without it. And then you ask yourself, like, this is how we got started talking about this. Like, why did I do this 10 years ago? Because I knew what they were doing. I just didn't know exactly how they did it. I knew what they were doing, right? It's sort of like the Rockefellers. I know what they do. I know how they make their money, and I know what's in their name and what's not, which is nothing is in their name. And I've just never applied it like, this is so simple the way Nelson Nash wrote this out. And it's a blessing to everybody. And financially,
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yeah, it's so incredible. Hilltop, to answer your question, both. We did a 60-40 and a 70-30. Yeah. I'm pretty sure about that. We changed the second one up, and I think it was 70-30. I'd have to look into that, but I think we have both. We haven't explored the glories of 90-10 yet. That'll be a few more shows down the road. Hey, for the right app,
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah,
I look, if you feel like splitting atoms in a lab in your basement, then I would say go ahead. Only because I know someone personally that did that. The reasons for doing that were in my mind sound reasons for doing that. Right?
Yeah.
That was a ripcord moment in my opinion. But now looking side by side, apples to apples, kind of a comparison. A preferred route would have been something along those lines, the 60-40, 70-30. Even a 50-50. You know, mine. What is mine? I guess it's more of a 70-30. But I added a few more bells and whistles on that as well. And as opposed to, I added a few bells and whistles on mine to where, I don't know about your policies, Alan. Mine, I'm able to put in PUA for the next 30 years, as opposed to, 7 or 10 or whatever. But I did that.
Yeah.
It just depends. There's all these little different options. It's like getting this cool vehicle or this cool yacht, right? The yacht's great. The motor sound, dude. It's like awesome. And then you get to go one step further. What kind of padded toilet seat do you want? What? I get to choose a toilet seat? How much is that? How much? You start doing the normal stuff that we're trained to do. Well, how much is that? Oh, that's not that. Oh, and I can do this, and it does this, and it. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's worth it. There's the wife.
There's some really. There's some really. I mean, the whole thing is beautiful.
We need to really, in particular in these first few shows, really kind of stick to basics. So let's not get too crazy.
But there's a lot of bells and whistles, and I'd like to say this: each contract and its division, how the funds are divided up. That's literally a person to person, case by case, needs by needs basis. Like my needs, wants, desires are far different than Alan when we get down to the details, right? And vice versa, right?
That's right.
We all want happy wives and happy lives, but how we achieve that is totally different on a day-to-day, month-to-month, week-to-week, year-to-year.
I'm annually going to use this as my own bank. And quarterly, I'm going to say, we're going to look for new and better ways to invest with it. Yep. And that's what I plan to do the rest of my life, because making money with money really interests Alan. I don't know if you guys have understood that about Alan, but I'm always looking for a side hustle, but being a work slave my whole life, I'm used to picking a fork or a shovel up and digging a hole to make a buck.
Right.
And and now it's time that I become the bank because I'm not getting any younger, and I know how they make money with money. I need to implement that into everybody's lives who will help, come along for the ride, because we're about to do this together, guys, and this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to share success stories, and honestly, the only thing I'm going to say this probably every show, the only thing keeping you from being successful by doing this isn't like, oh, the system crashed, or it's rigged against me, or I didn't understand the fine print. You don't have to worry about that. The only thing that'll keep you from succeeding at what this becoming your own bank is your own diligence. That's it.
Yep.
Everything is in your court.
Yep.
That's why we call it your own bank. You are the banker. You must pay the money back into your bank. If you can do that, I promise you, years down the road, you will be a very well-to-do person and looked upon in your family as not only being knowledgeable about money, you'll be the person that they'll go to with the really good deals. They'll be like, hey, Chucky, there's this guy down the street and he needs $2,000 for his car, and it's like a $15,000 car. He's got to have the $2,000 a day. It's just an example. You're going to have those kind of opportunities come to you because they're going to understand that you're liquid. You can come up with it. You don't have to go to a bank. How are you going to go to your current bank and say, I need to borrow $2,000 for a car loan?
No, let's stop there. Let's stop there. I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
I need to borrow $2,000.
Yeah, right.
Can you just go into the bank? Can you go to any financial institution today and just say, I need to borrow $50,000? And they go, what's the next question? Oh, for what?
Yeah.
This is, you can avoid all that right here.
Yeah. Yep. It's just so all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't have to fill out any paperwork. Oh, you mean I can borrow $50,000?
I mean, dude, I did mine. I did my first. Okay, so did my first loan.
Yeah.
It was three little fields on the insurance company's website. That was it. 24 hours later, it was in process. 7 days later, I had money in the bank. Shorty, what's your drink? Now that money is just waiting there for me to go do the business I want to go do. And I'm hyped on it. I'm so excited to do this deal because I am going to charge the crap out of myself in interest. And my bank is like, you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's weird. I never thought I'd be in this type of mindset.
Right.
I really not at all, just because my opinions of bankers and etc. But when you're in the banking industry and that's what you're really stepping into here, in my opinion, that's what I'm stepping into. You suddenly understand why they do what they do. However, as Alan, as I've heard before, I'm sure Alan, you've heard this before in your many years as a yacht captain. There are just very nice people, and there are very mean people.
Yeah.
There's very, very nice billionaires, multimillionaires, and there's the opposite. It's just the people. The money has nothing to do with it. So
that's right.
To the banking part, I don't have to be what we might attribute to or to the characteristics of a banker. I don't have to be that banker. I'm going to be the banker I want. It's my bank, my business. I do how I do.
That's it.
That's the cool part.
And Crypto Shrimp, I'm not sure if that was a question or not, but credit scores, no, you don't have to worry about credit scores. You have to
do Crypto Shrimp. Oh my goodness. Oh, no credit score. No credit score.
You don't it's your money, for number one. You're borrowing against the money you put in it. So, look at it like that.
Yes. You're only Yeah, your only limitation is the amount of capital that you have put into this asset, and how much you're able to borrow it. I mean, so if an example of this would be, let's just say, okay, let's say you got one of these contracts. Congratulations, you finally are entering into your banking business. A portion of those dollars have to go over to the contract side. Another portion goes over to, I'm just going to keep it simple, the collateral side. Okay. This collateral side is what you're able to borrow against. Okay. You go to the insurance company, you say, hey, I have $10,000 over here available for collateral. I'd like to do the max loan. They're like, okay, great. We're going to give you 90% of what's available in there. We'll lend you our money against that money, because you're going to give them the guarantee for that money in case you happen to graduate early to the skies above, if you will. And they're willing to do that. Why? Because they have a guarantee that the insurance company, is going to get their money back that you borrowed. And when you pay it back, for every dollar that you pay back, you release that same amount in your collateral. An example of that would be if I made $1,000 payment back to the loan, then now there's $1,000 available for me to borrow again or recollateralize. And I know that's a lot, but that's how this works. So if I only have $10,000 in there, that's all I can borrow on the collateral side. If I have $100,000 in there, then I can only borrow up to $100,000, just for the sake of understanding. That's your only limitation. You literally, and I know I'm getting a little passionate here and excited, but I too do not have the stellar credit, or any other of the requirements that maybe a financial institution wants those borrowers to have. I definitely am not top shelf on that, as most of us are not, because it's a cheeky game, and that's all I'm going to say about that. All those, like 95% of those rules go out of the window when you own the bank. All right. Conceptually, okay, you own the bank up here. You own the asset, the contract. You have a partnership with the insurance company. They're doing all the investments and things that they're doing to help that asset contract grow in value to meet their obligation within the contract. By and large, no credit score, no background check, except for some your health check. And now let me tell you, if you're a smoker, you're okay. You're okay. You might have to pay a little extra, but in the big scheme of things, it doesn't matter in this way. It's nothing. And here it is. Okay. What's more important? That you got a business open in a very squeaky, it's super the cleanest store around, or you just got your business open. Either way, you're in business. You're selling the products that you want to sell, or whatever your business may be. And Nelson Nash talks about a grocery store. I don't care what I have to do per se to get my business open, but I need my business open, and so do you. I say that to if you are a smoker, health conditions aren't stellar. I know of people who have diabetes. They've gotten policies. Okay.
Yes.
You just have to go try and see. Now, I'm going to throw this little caveat here. I know I'm dropping a lot of knowledge on it. We're going to revisit this 100%, but I'm kind of on a hot one right now.
Yeah.
Just because you yourself may not be insurable does not mean that you cannot own a contract on someone else that could be the insurable item. This is life insurance. If you happen to have a little one, you can go ahead and do that. You have a family member, have good discussions. Say, hey, maybe you don't have kids, but you got nieces and nephews. Go have a chat. There's lots of different ways to really to
Yeah.
participate
Yeah.
in this generational wealth building banking
Yeah.
system business.
There's a workaround almost all of it. There really is. You can even get policies for your employees. And we were talking about that earlier today.
Yep.
Wayne,
Hey, we
I
need to
want,
talk. Let's talk about that later too, after our show.
yeah, yeah. Well, Wayne, he was asking about am I freezing?
Like a
Okay.
little bit on my end, but I have you on YouTube. That
Yeah.
seems to be going fairly decent, so we
Right.
should
Okay.
be okay.
So, okay. First of all, Wayne,
Except for right there.
we are going to Alabama. Should we talk about that yet? Anyway, we are going
Not yet.
to. Okay.
It's not solidified.
Right. We're hoping to go work with a particular company who wrote the book. Basically, that's the people we believe in, the system we believe in, and that's who we are knocking on their door as hard and loud as possible because we want to work with the true and the real deal. We are in a position to be working with any brokers that we want in 50 different states eventually. We don't have that now, but if you need somebody in your state immediately, we could probably find somebody for you, Wayne, as I know you pretty well. But here's what we're doing with this class. And this is a class. We know people that were in this for quite a period of time and they bought not bad, but not the perfect policy for them. So it's everything in life is an education. So what Simon and I are trying to do for everybody is catch everybody up to speed and catch everybody up to the mistakes that my wife and I and Simon and JV, who you guys will all be meeting, he'll be on this show as well, and many others. The pitfalls of what can go wrong by getting into this thing too early. I will tell you, they're not bad pitfalls. They're just things you could have done better. It's not like, oh, it ruined me financially, I'm in trouble now. It's never that.
Yeah.
It's
No,
never that.
this is
Yeah.
just
But
it's just like
yeah,
it's like fishing or golfing. You just making adjustments, and that's all we're
yeah.
telling you. Some adjustment.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't really have anybody. Wayne, I'm pretty sure you're in Georgia, right? I don't really have anybody lined up for you at this point that I could put the staple seal of approval on to recommend you to at this point. But if you get in touch with us and you want somebody, we can look through the foundation and find them somebody, I'm sure, right? Right, Simon?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's that's a definite thing.
But I highly recommend you be a student. If you have, maybe you're already into this, Wayne. I don't remember if you and I have talked at length about this or not, but maybe you've been into this for years now, and you're just looking for somebody that you're already ready to go.
Bob, yeah, way to go, Bob. Bob just bought the book.
Attaboy. And somebody in here.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm catching up on comments too myself, Alan. Just to let you know.
Yeah, it's nothing but fun, right?
Yeah.
Student mindset, always. Yes, Shrimp, definitely.
Yeah, well
my
said.
perspective on the US dollar.
Shrimp, that's dope.
Yeah, my perspective last Sunday on the US dollar, I got more comments about that than anything because it sort of was against the grain. A lot of people don't kind of really feel that way, but if you follow a man by the name of Brent Johnson, dollar milkshake theory, he explains it really well. I'm about halfway as committed to that as he is. But anyway, he's a guy you could look up. what was that? Wayne that asked another question there too. Somebody said I actually took out my first policy. One gone Bob. Did you see that one, Simon? That's cool. He took out his first loan today.
I saw Bob.
One gone, Bob?
Actually, Bob's there. Let's see. I saw a few things.
At 6:34.
Where did that go? I saw one. 6:34.
Our time, 6:34.
Scanning. I see one that says I actually just took my first policy loan today. That was one gone Bob. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah,
it's an interesting process to say the least. And now you're like, oh my gosh, how cool is it? I don't know what you're doing, and please keep it private. I'm just going to keep that there. Just keep it private. You're a banker. You have to learn how to keep your mouth shut. Except at the banker's ball, you can tell all your dirty little secrets. I digress on that. That's great. Got your first policy loan. That's awesome, man. Sounds good. Pictures. Yeah, there's a lot of good things. Simon, I bought the book right after Vegas. Read it twice. I'm definitely in. That was Trini. T.O. Trini. Trini, my man. That's good. Congratulations. Well done. Now I know Trini, you're up north of me, up in that jurisdiction there, and check out those some of them. Jason Lowe's. I sent you some links to them. I know that they will be more apt to help you within your jurisdiction, but I'm glad you got that book, bro. Like it's absolute. This book is absolute fire. I listened to it on Audibles, to be quite honest, and even today, listening to it again today.
I know, yeah. I listened to part of it the other day.
Yeah, I listen. Well, you know what I really like. Well, okay, there's a lot of things I really like about it, and in truth, the whole book. But I kind of go in these little stages of appreciation and gratitude to the information that's in there, and I'm still learning. Rather, my perspective is changing because of this book. My perspective is continuously looking deeper within the knowledge that's in this book, and I am rethinking my thinking all the time. And there's in this book, there's Nelson kind of calls you out a little bit. He talks about he talks about the human problem. And part of that, part of the human problem, as it's called, was it Parkinson's law? Yeah, it's Parkinson's law, where when we get a raise, an example, we get a raise, suddenly now we go out and spend that money on maybe a luxury, but then that luxury turns into a need. We lack the discipline to go, no, I still don't need that, even though I have the money for that. We don't, most of us don't do that unless we have an NX in money, but then we still default. Oh, I need to spend this and put it somewhere, or I need a vacation or whatever it may be, Another example of this is, in the book, Nelson talks about if you put a deadline on something, on a chore to get done, it will take that long. An example, Alan digs a ditch. If Alan gives himself 3 days to dig his ditch, it'll be done in 3 days. At the last second of day 3, if Alan said the same job, gave him 30 days, guess how long it's going to take? 30 days. And it's really, we all do that.
We all do that.
We all do that, but it's great to have that reflection. And Nelson calls you out. If you can't get past Parkinson's law, then stop, and take a hard look in the mirror. But we all can. See, that's the cool thing. We can get past it.
But it's this whole thing is also very forgiving. Let's say you screw it up. Oh, it's not ruined your life and you lost your wife and kids. It's like, I see what I did wrong there. It'll wait for you. It'll wait for you to catch back up. It's not
Yeah.
the end of the world. And yeah, and it's so incredible. I want to say something about, I know everybody in here knows who Tio Trini is, as in the chat. I just want to say, I don't know what he did, but he has an incredible wife and he has an incredible life too. I happen to
Oh
know the
yeah.
guy. I know, I
Yeah.
happen to go know the guy personally, and he's
Yeah.
become a great friend of the crew and the family here.
Yeah. Trini's
And
awesome.
he's, what he does for a living, I don't really want to out the guy, but what he does for a living, Trini, you need to do this.
Oh,
Like,
he's
I know
on it. He's on it.
you've contacted the people in your area, and I'm just going to say, if you do anything with, let's say, renting homes, purchasing homes, flipping homes, or any of those kind of things in life, this is going to change your life. This sort of banking and the way you roll over, people roll over cash to do different projects and to earn money and to buy an old used car and fix it up and flip it. This will change your life.
Yes.
This is the tool you've been looking for. If you're
Yes.
an art collector, any of those kind of things, because all of that is going to be, I'm going to say, virtually tax free, that you're going to be able to do all that in. And it's a game changer, guys. Like Simon and I keep looking for AMMs or staking projects or things on crypto in which
Yep.
to earn a monthly income.
Yes.
But
Passive income. Yep.
the best use case of this sort of policy, okay, I need 20 or 30, $40,000 to invest. I got this incredible investment opportunity, and it's before me right now. Boom. I got it. I've got the cash. I can go to my own bank. I am my own bank. I can set up my own terms. I can do it. And by the time you flip that idea, or somebody's paying a massive interest rate because they need the money for a month or two, by the time that thing flips, you're already in a position of paying yourself back. Like Wayne Littlefield said, pay yourself back with interest is the key to success in life. That's what this diligence of this thing is teaching. What we're all learning here is what the Rockefellers have been doing for over 100 years.
Not
The
just
other
them,
thing,
though.
the
Not
other
just
thing
them.
they do, the other thing they do is they make sure that when they have employees, those employees don't have bank accounts. They have accounts with the company. And when they buy things through the company, the money goes back to the company, which is exactly what Wayne just described. You're paying yourself back. So you're keeping all your payments at the end of the month, at the end of the year, within house. That's how the Rockefellers figured it out. That's what family trusts are all about. That's what the wealthy have been doing forever. They take things out of their names and they get the money coming back into their own accounts. And once you can figure that out, once you can when we started the show about everybody focuses on interest rates. We've been brainwashed to think interest rates are important.
I don't care about those.
Throw them away. Just skip all that. Okay. We get hung up on that. The book has great examples in it, but just think about it. People are raving about, oh, I have a 3% interest rate on my 30-year home loan. Oh, wow. They brag about it. I have a neighbor that brags about it. Okay. What was your payment this month? $2,500 for your mortgage payment. Okay. How much of that went to the 3%?
18.
Exactly.
18. That's mine. That's mine. That's mine. I'm like, that's mine. Yeah, the whole thing too. Yeah, I'm in that boat.
So the bank got $2,100 this month back in their account that they can borrow, and they can buy a $2,100 car with tomorrow. That you can't.
Yeah.
Only for 30 years, you're going to pay them $2,000.
Yeah.
Who cares if it's 3% or 8%?
Don't matter.
Doesn't matter because you're
No,
paying
it's
95% interest every payment.
it's the volume
Principal, the
of
volume.
money that goes to the interest, right?
Yeah.
Example, I'll put my stuff out here. Or let's just take this hypothetical situation that's relatively close to my own personal situation. Mortgage payments, $2,500. Amount of money that goes to interest is $1,800. Okay. Now you're like, well, Simon, there's still what's that, 5, 6, 7? There's $700 left over. Wait, there's more.
There's more.
X amount of dollars went to some insurance. X amount of dollars went to property tax. X amount of dollars went to escrow. $127 went to principal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Times that by 12, and I only
Yeah.
paid, we'll just call it, I only paid out what? Let's see, 127,
$1,200.
Say, yeah, I do over just over $1,400, maybe.
$1,400. Yeah.
$1,400 is what went to my principal in this scenario. What? Are you kidding me? No, we need to flip that, bro. Yes, yeah, that's what it is.
And
When
this
you
is what
when
this
when
is
you
how
add
they
up
con everybody, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is what they con everybody. They go, oh wow. Well, now interest rates are going lower. Oh, you better get back in there and refinance because you had a 5% loan and now we're all the way down to 3.5. Look, you're going to save $300 a month. And it's like, yeah, except for all that $300, I don't get back. It doesn't go back to me. You got to find a way to make sure at the end of the day, that money goes back to you. I want to talk about it. Something else that I'm going to bring up every show, and I'm going to be a broken record with this one. I want you all to look up what BOLI is. Okay. Oh. You've got to look into what BOLIs are. Okay. Because they are the number one most profitable thing banks do. So there was years ago, there were things called MOLIs, right? And this is back in the 90s. And they were mortgage owned. The L and the I at the end of it stands for life insurance. So the number one most profitable thing that a bank does is buys life insurance policies. Look it up, guys. So they make anywhere between 400 to 1,200% annually, annual income off BOLIs. Look it up. It's mind blowing. I remember the MOLIs back in 1999 because I got caught up in a group of, well, let's just call it Ponzi scheme type characters. Okay. And what they were doing is they tapped into those funds, into those bank accounts, what they were mortgage owned. Okay. Life insurance. And the premiums were so ridiculous because you're talking about tens of billions of dollars in these pools. Mm-hmm. So just think about this. You're compounding tens of billions of dollars and you're getting premiums on the tens of billions of dollars. Do you think B of A even cares who you are? When they're making those kind of returns and it's compounding annually, they don't care who you are. They don't want to know. When the phone rings, that means problem for them. They have to listen to somebody complain. It's a system that it's unbelievable how much money is made. They call them life insurance, but this is a pool of compounding money, an ocean that you're tapping into is what you're doing. That's what
maybe they just misspelled the whole thing, Alan.
Yeah.
Life
Ponzi
insurance. No, Ponzi was correct. They spelled that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Life insurance.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe they did it intentionally, maybe not. I'm just speculating here, right? I hug trees every now and again.
That's what we do here is speculate.
Love nature. But maybe it wasn't insurance. Maybe it was life issuance. Like we're we're getting issuance for life
Yes. Yeah,
compounding.
I like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I like
Yeah.
that.
Life insurance. Yeah. It's
Wayne,
a
good
very
night,
beautiful
brother.
thing, but not all. Have a good night, Wayne.
It was good
I
to see
know,
you in
man. He
Vegas.
stayed up late. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wayne's good, dude.
He's the one that wanted us to
Everybody I
do
saw in
these on
Vegas is awesome.
Tuesday nights, but maybe we could start earlier if the captain
He's the
could
one that wanted
actually.
us to.
Yeah, he wanted Tuesday nights. He said it was the best for him. That's why we do Tuesdays. Brother Wayne requested it.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah, he's a good man. Yeah, I didn't get to spend much time with him in
Wayne's really
Vegas.
cool. I like Wayne. Everybody that I met in Vegas. Dang, man, chopping it up here on my end. It's totally my camera.
Oh, so we're live on X too as well? Yeah, I think we are.
Yes, my X we are. Yeah,
You
no, I
are,
streamed
your
it to
X,
my
not mine.
X. So
Yeah.
yeah. People are
we're
probably
on.
watching this going, Simon, your internet's bogging down because it's too hot in Washington State. You need to fix that. Go get Starlink.
Oh, there's Hoofty. Hoofty showed up. We knew that was gonna happen.
Hoofty. So
Yep.
some big takeaways.
Mhm.
One, everybody, in my opinion, should be getting this one way or another. That's a big takeaway. There's a lot of advantages here, and you're in control. That's big takeaway number one. Okay.
Yeah.
Big takeaway number two. I know Alan enough to say this, and I know myself. We are really all about you people. We are here to help, to walk through, to be a part of this journey, not going anywhere. Might not be around all the time, but that doesn't mean we're not part of this community. And that's that is a known fact. We
That's right.
want, this is another piece of this beautiful wealth wheel that we're all trying to build together, and you utilize it in our own lives, but we keep coming back to this community to share, to learn, to teach, to grow. So that's definitely takeaway number two. Number three, your homework. Your homework. Yeah, your homework here.
They said there'd be homework.
There's homework. First, look up bullies. Look at that up. But secondly, if you haven't bought this book, Becoming Your Own Banker, buy it. If you're Audibles, go get it on Amazon Audibles. If you don't have that, try to find it on YouTube. I do believe it's out there. But give it a listen and listen again and listen again. Some of this stuff, I'm not gonna lie, it can be daunting. But when you have this in your mind, it is this, that the money that comes out of your hands at some point comes back into your hands, and you reclaim it. Back to my interest payment of $1,800. If I could right now reclaim that $1,800 and put it into a beautiful business that has a contract with compounding interest on there, holy crap. I'd be killing it right now. Right now, those other banks are killing it. Good for them. I'm literally taking a page out of their book because Nelson Nash took all the pages out of their book. Yeah. And so that's a big takeaway there. These funds can come back to you. Maybe not all of them, right? Everybody's in a different situation, but they can at some point. Every single dollar. It's very much possible.
Yeah, it is. Those are great points, by the way, Simon. I love all those. They're very 1 and 3 is the most important there. buying the book and the homework, we could get whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just want to tease the crowd.
Yeah, right.
I am a bully every now and
But
again.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
That's my
but
wife. She'll be like, "Don't tease me. I'll put you down." I'm like, "Sorry, babe."
I will say something I learned probably 30 years ago now, when I worked for a great man who's probably one of the more important bankers on the face of the planet. And he said to me, and I never forgot it. He said, "You're either paying someone interest or you're earning interest on every dollar on the planet."
Right in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a fact. And because the use of money has debt, it's laden with debt. If you look at a dollar bill, I know where you're going with this, it's a note. It says a note. Why? Because it's an IOU. From what? It's a bond. It's a real time bond that you own. When you get that you're paying someone interest, or somebody's charging you interest for the use of that dollar, for the ownership of that dollar bill, whatever the denomination or whatever the currency you're talking about, all of them are printing money, which is costing you money while that money sits in your hand, because they're printing more of it, which is costing you interest because it's losing value. And it's a minus factor. How do you at least keep up with that or get ahead of those people? You have to buy assets, and you have to get your money under your control. And it's not, here's the beautiful thing, guys. My wife and I are not bankers. Well, we weren't. We are now.
I was gonna say, you are now, bro.
We're now bankers.
Yeah.
Are we a massive bank? Can I loan out millions of dollars yet? No, but I'm working on it, and I'm getting there. And when I have the windfalls, and we have the windfalls in the manner in which we all met through crypto, and the next year to 5 year, whatever it is, you're going to have windfalls that is going to absolutely have you running with your hair on fire as to, what do I do? Oh my God, I've got to do this now. No, if you're a diligent individual, which you clearly are, because you bought crypto when everybody thought it was a bad idea, you bought it anyway. You learned how to do it. You got your own wallet. You pulled it off. You're sitting there with something that nobody else understood, nobody else believed. So you're diligent enough to do that. You've got to become the next step, which is be a bank, your own bank, in your own control for the rest of your life. And it's, man, I can't wait. I can't wait for 2 or 3 years from now, Simon, when all of us are on the same group and we're all thinking the same, and we're all sharing ideas. Well, hey, this month, what do you want to do? I don't know. I've got an extra 20 grand. Well, I got an extra 30. Let's put it to work. What are we going to do with it? And we're just going to create this. We're going to create this money club of people just figuring out, well, my house is paid for. I got everything done. What do I do now?
Exactly.
Let's make some money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would like to answer 2 questions. Yeah, 2 questions. Okay. First, I would like to answer Oak's question. Of course, Alan, jump in at any time there, brother. So Oak's question is, so it's tax-free because you're just reusing your own money. It's tax-free because, one, any type of loan you acquire, right? You go to a bank, borrow money from the bank, right? As a debtor, they don't tax you for that. There's tax-free. The other tax-free part comes in probably one of the biggest challenges is on your very special day, and that is when you graduate from this earth and leave this body behind and go elsewhere, to the great beyond, universe, heaven, call it what you will. We ain't here no more. In that moment, all of our resources that we have, depending on where they're at, as in, are they at JP Morgan Chase? Does Coinbase have custodianship over the coins, right?
BlackRock.
Right, BlackRock, right? Where are these assets, and who's controlling them? Oh, we're going to have to go through probate. Probate is not a fun process, right? This allows you to mitigate that, because when you graduate, whatever the death benefit is at that time, not when you started. By the way, those are going to be two completely different numbers. One's going to be a little bit bigger than the other one.
That's
More
right.
than likely,
Yep.
that goes to your family tax-free, or maybe that goes to a specific, well-crafted structure like a trust, or maybe even there is a beautiful charity
And we're going to talk about
that you
those
love.
coming
Yeah,
up.
we're going to talk about that. You could have all those funds go there, right? The point is, there's no tax in a death benefit payout, and there's no tax on a loan. Now, you use money for loan to buy asset goes up in price, you liquidate. Okay, flag on the play. That's a taxable event according to IRS code, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
right.
Okay, that part. Okay, fine,
Yeah.
whatever. You got me. But maybe, again, back to structures, maybe you don't really do that. It's the company that you manage that does that, because the company has better write-offs than you are. But we're not talking about taxes. Just trying to paint a bigger picture here of things you could do. So in my opinion, that's what makes this tax-free to the best of my awareness. Question
Yes, it
number
does.
2. Alan, anything to add to that?
Well, I mean, it was a couple of other points in there too, but I don't want to beat a dead horse here. But
Okay. All right.
there's like all the insurance codes for 200 years have been structured this way and written this way because of legislation and legalities have come after as time has gone on after people's inheritance time and time and time again. And one of the few places that they've said, no, we're drawing the line with people's life insurance. That's it. You've gone too far. You've taxed them 3 times already when you're not supposed to be able to, double indemnity or whatever it's called. I forgot the term at this point, but double taxation should not be legal, but they do it all the time. But they have actually held strong in this country as to, well, all right, we're not going to come after that one yet. But they keep working on it and they keep bringing it in all the time, but it keeps getting voted out. Why? Because all the politicians do their banking like this. All of them. And they don't want to. Yeah. And the smart ones have this is how they bank. They figured all this out.
Yeah. I saw Lloyd there for a second, but I'm gonna go with this Atlantic Living's
we're
question.
Not going there, Lloyd.
Yeah, well, no, he says just kidding.
Yeah, we've already done this, Lloyd. We're not just
I've actually gone to AI just to see what spits out, and you think the book was in the AI's digital hand there. Atlantic Living, your question. What was the very best question. Yeah, can you put it up on the screen?
Let's see.
Can you make it big?
I can do.
Yes. All right. Now I can read that. Don't get 40 in change. What was the very best and most important chapter in the book, Simon? Single most important statement or quote you liked? Oh, okay. There's actually 2 that really, really hit home for me personally. Okay. And one of the first ones,
I've got one,
and
sure.
because they're actually, in my mind, they're 2 separate things. Okay, 2 different quotes that have different applications. Okay, first one, and I'm going to turn to it right now. It's on page. I think it's page 3. Hold on a second. We coming. There it is, page 3 in the book. Okay. Oh, And it goes a little something like this. Our goal is to reclaim the money that is going to interest. We're trying to reclaim the interest. That hit home to me. Okay. That hit home from this book. Okay. There's other quotes in here that resonate with me. So let me set the stage. The reason why this hit home to me is because prior for this book and this knowledge coming into my life at, I would argue, the perfect time. I mean, I would have loved it earlier, but I probably would have poo-pooed it or just set it on the shelf like I've done other books. And here's those two books that I'm talking about. I had recently read a few times, quite a few times, and listened to my audibles. Book number 1 was The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah. Within
this book was instilled upon me was to pay yourself first. Okay. And it goes really deep into that, but pay yourself first. I was already doing this. Okay. The second book was and is The Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And there's a connection there because in that book, he only says it one time and he doesn't put any emphasis on it whatsoever. Pay yourself first. He says it one time in the book, but the principles are taught in The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah.
This is why our goal is to reclaim the interest that we are giving away. Our job is to reclaim that. That made absolute sense to me. I was like, okay, cool. You got me. Tell me how I do that, because I know how much money I'm spending on interest. And then, it steamrolls from there. The other one that is another quote in here that it really hits home for me currently is if you know what's going on, you'll know what to do.
Yes.
And that is actually a big picture, inward looking question or statement. If I know what's going on, I will know what to do. I need to know what's going on.
The biggest way I'm going to beat this horse. Oh, that poor horse. I've said it twice already tonight, and I can't quote it out of the book, but it's the biggest thing I learned so far is the biggest hurdle that we're all going to have in this system is this. Well, okay. I put $10,000 in this account, being my life insurance. I borrowed, I'm just going to use 100% at this time. You can't borrow 100%. $1,000 to pay for this $9,000 item. And I'm just paying the $9,000 back with interest to myself. Is that about it? Yeah. Well, I don't understand how that makes me rich. I don't understand how that makes me so great. I just borrowed the money and I'm just paying the money back. That's where everybody gets hung up. That's when everybody goes, well, I don't get it. I'm just borrowing the money. I'm paying cash because we all think paying cash for something's a great idea. That way you don't pay any interest. That's right. Well, when you pay the 10 grand and you pay this thing and you own this thing for 10 grand, you don't have to pay interest to the person you bought the 10 grand item from, but you need to pay the interest back to yourself. Okay.
That you lost.
That's right. Because you're borrowing. But when you pay that money back, and then when you look over at this other ledger over here, which is simply compounding that 10 grand, even though you used it, it's still compounding at the $10,000 rate as if you never borrowed a nickel. That's the sweet spot. But the hardest part is, well, I don't get it. I'm just paying myself back. I'm not getting ahead doing that. Well, yes, you are, because let's go back to what we said. The most important thing that the bank wants from you is not the interest on the 30-year loan. It's the damn print. It's the $2,100 of the $2,300 payment you make every month.
Yeah.
Because it's operating capital for the very next day.
Yeah.
It's your working capital for the next budget for you to take that 10 grand, which is now going to be 10 grand plus interest. And you're going to be able to spend 15 grand buying something of $15,000 and pay it back. And then 20,000 and then 30,000. And the next thing you know, with a compounding interest, you're going to be borrowing from yourself stuff that's going to make a difference in your life. In particular, if you're a young man or a young woman who comes into a windfall and you have enough discipline to do what Simon and I are talking about here, and you have enough discipline to say, okay, XRP went to 50 grand or $50. Yes. I made
no 50 grand. No, 50 grand.
and I made 100K. And if you're disciplined enough to say, oh, okay, I know what to do with that money. I'm going to put $25,000 in a year, every year for 3 or 4 years. I guarantee you at the end of 3 or 4 or 5 years doing that, you'll be set for life. If you understand this policy and what we're doing, you'll simply have set yourself up instead of looking back 2 or 3 years later and going, oh my God, what did I do with that 100 grand again? Honey, what do we have? What do we got this car that's depreciating?
Okay, been there in that mindset before. Frustrating. Very frustrating. Talk about a mind job on yourself that just, I mean, you want to talk, what is that? Fight Club, right? Where the whole time you think Brad Pitt's in the movie and he's really not. and he's kicking his own butt, right? That's what you feel like doing. You're like, I'm going to kick my own butt. I'm stupid. Yeah, absolutely.
Just imagine you, whatever your salary is, okay? Whatever your salary is, you're going to get to the point where, let's say, make 70K a year, okay? At the end of the year, if you get good enough at this, you're going to get $60,000 back. Just imagine that. Of all the money you spent all year long, like on your credit card, you could get good enough to pay the credit card, and you could get 90% of the $70,000 of income that you made back. Well, minus taxes and a lot of the other stuff. I'm talking net. When you get that good at doing this, like where JV is right now, we know people that are so diligent about this. It's changed their whole life. It's changed the way they look at money. And it's not just, oh yeah, I'm a cheapskate now, I save every penny.
No,
that's not it. No, that's not what it is.
That. Yeah, far beyond that.
Well, no, here's the thing, Atlantic Living, you have a great question. Okay. Here, let me tell you what. Now we're really getting into it now. I got to tell you this. I set up my policy. Okay?
My wife's gonna owe me $3 because I said I bet you were gonna do a 3-hour video.
Yeah. So we're setting up our policy, and we're working with this guy who's been doing it for 30 years. Okay, and it's just guys just got it, and he's looking at, and we shared all of our finances with him and what we're doing, and how we're doing it. And he goes, okay. And then there's this other column, and it's $1,000. And I go, well, it says $1,000 for a car. I'm like, what? We don't have any car payments. We own our cars outright. We're fortunate enough in that case, because we bought good cars, and they're almost 10 years old, but they're great cars. But like, really, I go, what do you do? Ooh, I don't understand. Why are we paying $10,000 or $1,000, $12,000 a year? He goes, well, you just told me how old your Toyota truck is. Like, wouldn't you like to know that like 4 or 5 years from now that you could just walk in there, you could pay cash for the truck, and then you could pay yourself back for the truck. And at the end, with interest, pay yourself back, and then do that over and over and over. Every time you need a truck, every 5 to 10 years, it's already paid for, and you're just paying yourself back. And the whole time, the value of that truck has been compounding in your own account. Wouldn't you like to do that? And when you look at it, all of a sudden you start going, oh my God, like cars are free. Then the big light bulb goes off.
Oh yeah. I've
Then
already hit that. I hit that. I hit that.
the big light bulb is this. This is the sweetest spot of the whole thing, guys. All of a sudden, you start to see that debt is good. You want debt. You don't want to be paid for with everything, because when everything's paid for, you're not earning any money with your money. You want to always be borrowing, right, from your principal over here, and you putting it to work. In fact, I could even argue that the guy who wins is the guy that has 90% of his value out earning money when he dies. That guy won. And until you can see it like that, you think debt is bad. But when that debt is earning you interest or income monthly, when you die, that debt is working for you. It's huge.
Yeah,
whole different way.
I'm even going to go just one step further, because we're in the mud now, and I love it. Feeling good on the feet. All right. So if you get to Alan's level of 90% of your, well, it's not even your principal technically. When you've allocated 90% of your principal to collateralization, and you've borrowed those funds to go get more debt opportunities for your bank, because your bank loves debt, because there's a monthly payment that comes in. Okay. So now those debts per se, okay, you gave so-and-so $5,000 for a car, you gave so-and-so $100,000 for a down payment on home in California. Multiple things. You have, there's a loan out for a business that now, maybe your family owns, but that business still has a loan to pay back. Okay. All those are streams of money that go back, okay, to first meet your bank's obligation, because your bank collateralized something. It has an obligation to the insurance company. Got to pay the loan back, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So that money goes there. But where your bank is doing awesome, it charged interest over here on all these debts. And that interest is profit. And that's one way of how banks make profit right there. And guess what happens? It goes right back into the contract. Thus, you've increased the amount of collateral that you're able to collateralize. And guess what happens next day? Send it out. No, right now. No, you out. Go to work. Which also, that's something else that resonated with me, Alan. It was in the Richest Man of Babylon. You want to find your gold, good, gainful employment. And when you do that, your coins will make other coins. It'll have, they say kid coins, but I'm not going to say that. Well, too late, I already did. And they will multiply, and you will find good and safe jobs for them, and they will work diligently hard for you. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing when you're able to do that. I can't wait.
We're gonna crush it, man.
I know. I'm with Oak right here. I'm Oak's boat right now. My mortgage is my largest outflow, so pay that back to myself. Wow, exactly. I have a strategy for this already, man. I got multiple. I'm ready to deploy, but I can't right now. I'm waiting on a few things.
Elizabeth and I are already doing that.
That's so cool. God, congratulations,
man.
That's so cool. Yeah.
And you can just see the light bulb going off with Oak, right? This his next post. He's just like,
okay.
No, wait a minute. This is legal? Oh, I can do this? You mean it's tax-free? You mean I'm compounding? Like, all of it is just like mind-blowing when you really wrap your head around it. And then you're like, well, this must be really difficult to do. Go get a blood test. And you're done.
Yeah, exactly. Atlantic Living, I do want to say that is actually in the works. That's actually in the works, Atlantic Living. Your comment there. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. Thanks for the compliment, Atlantic. Yeah, I love it, brother. This is what Simon and I have been talking about since before the XRP show, right, brother? We've been talking.
Oh my gosh. We've actually been talking about this, I think, after I initially told Elizabeth and yourself, and then I checked in with you guys like 3-4 days later. You had
No,
a
I mean,
question on some. We've been
doing
talking about. Oh,
doing
yes,
an
yes,
educational show.
yeah. Education, yes. We've been talking about that pre-Vegas for sure, 100%.
We're like
I
in
mean, but
Vegas
even
going,
then, like before, I mean, even before like real discussions, that was like already kind of on the table. Like it was like, hey, we
yeah,
should, we gotta put this out there. We gotta share this some
yeah.
way, somehow, but yeah, so here we are, we're doing it,
I have to tell you that one of the biggest compliments I ever got. Thank God I've had so many, but the people have been so kind. But well, no, I mean, it's true. I
I'm
know
teasing you.
I'm
I'm
no
teasing you.
I'm no expert at any of this stuff, but it's the kindness of people that when they
Yeah.
share their compliments to you, it's just like overwhelming at times. But like I'm sure you've had a bunch of them yourself. I don't play humble with me, brother. I know where you're at. So
Yeah, okay.
it was Melissa's boyfriend, your
Oh,
partner in
yeah.
Dipato.
Yeah.
And he got on the phone with me one day and just goes, I'm a professor at a university. And I am here to tell you that I think you would been an incredible college professor.
Yeah,
Like the
absolutely.
way you explain things to people, you make it complicated things simple, but you resonate with the younger generation. And I was like, wow, man, thanks.
Yeah.
That's one of the
Yeah.
bigger compliments a person can get, not being considered their age or some old fart, right? Yeah, some old fart.
You know what? Okay. I've had those. Like, you're actually really cool for like a parent or like an adult. And it's like, no, I'm gonna take the win. I'm not even gonna
Yeah,
be upset at the fact that you called me parent or adult. Like, made some
I'm not
old person,
insulted.
yeah, or
Yeah,
some old person reference. It's like, yeah, man, I know, I'm good. All right, man, get out,
we
get out
got
of there.
this.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I got
Well,
that. Yeah,
your style, I really like your style because you don't take anything too seriously. Although I did see you get kind of wound up about the tax show with Melissa one time. You guys were pretty wound up about
okay.
that one.
So that's an emotional thing, and we knew it though. Like, let's say, here's the beautiful
Yeah.
part about Alan. This is just another example with Melissa and I, and the chemistry we have and the relationship that we have on a personal level. It's the same type of relationship that you and I have, and as
Yeah.
well as that I have with a
My
few
son.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, B
Yeah.
Man, of course, Money
Yeah.
Paradise. Lots of people. I brought that idea to her because I said we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know. I'm like, look, you have found a way for people to go in here, right? But there's a major issue out here in crypto land, and that
Yeah.
is, no, I
There
went
is.
crypto to crypto, right? And so I was coming from the point of crypto to crypto, and yeah, I was getting agitated because there's no other. Hold on, I got to calm down a second. There's no other. There's nothing else that currently that the IRS does this to except for crypto. And that is, I can't,
Amen,
as far
brother.
as I know, okay, now I did my research and I came clean and I said, hey, I did find this, but
It's
I
brutal,
still just,
dude.
oh man, I said IRS too many times. They're glitching out my screen.
The way the way
Yeah,
the banks, the
but our
politicians,
chemistry though is awesome.
the way the banks, the politicians, the IRS, and the government leaders have treated crypto is criminal. It's those are criminal acts. They've intentionally suppressed. Like I don't even know that I could put it very eloquently right now, but the way the SEC approached regulation
Yeah,
was like, oh, it's sort of like having a 5-year-old child, right? And just having a stick and not telling them what they can't touch. But as soon as they touch something, you smack them on the hand.
yeah,
It's just like, that's not how you discipline people. You don't wait for them to break the rule, even though there isn't a rule. You haven't told them what the rules are. They just smack you in the hand every time you move. It's like, that is not how you like. I can't wait for the day the class action suits just start
Or
piling up.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm.
I
You know
hope.
what? I'm moving on with things that are currently working in this system that we
Yeah,
live in. It's like being under a dictatorship. Yeah. The funny thing
Roger
about a
that.
dictatorship, though,
Yeah. Oh,
there's rules. They have guidelines and rules.
yeah,
So there's always that saying, can't beat them, join them, right? Here we are today,
yeah.
great example of us joining them. Okay. I know I know Alan is, I know Elizabeth is, and a few others. We're
Mhm.
bankers. We're in the banking
We
business.
are.
Okay. That being
Yeah.
said, just because you join them doesn't mean that you have to like them and do what they do on a moral and ethical level.
No, that's right. Well, yeah,
In
well
fact, if
said.
more of us do this, and it's illustrated in the book, I think there's a 10% threshold. That if
Yeah.
10% of this country's population did that, and we got funds out of that system to where they have absolute control, they start to teeter and
Mhm.
possibly fall. But
That's right.
there's like there's some
Yeah.
threshold there, and that's actually that I believe still is a goal in the Nelson Nash Institute is to do that. So let's bring it. Become your own banker straight up. The old
Straight
system,
up.
new, yeah, with the new system. I mean, we're already doing that in crypto land. We really
Yeah,
are.
the
You
the only challenge I've had in any of this, in doing the whole process
Uh-huh.
was giving blood. Other than that,
What?
there's
What are you
been
talking about?
I
You
know.
did you not hear the interest that we all pay? That's blood too.
Yeah,
You were
I know.
scared
Yeah,
of
yeah.
you this much
I mean
that
I mean,
just let.
literally, this process was educational.
Yeah,
Like the the
still
the
is.
the man that I got my policy through, that one day I hopefully am going to highly recommend that man. He's not well right now, so that's kind of a bummer. But
Oh, really?
yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
I don't want to talk about that,
yeah. No,
but
it's good.
that,
Yeah,
what we will. But the way he presented everything and the way he
yeah,
taught us and the way he said, here's the video to watch here,
yep,
the way they do like, okay, we're going to record our session, or we're going to have a Zoom call together for an hour. We're going to record it. And then you're going to watch it 3 times because you're not going to get all of it the first time. It's
right.
that sort of hand
Yep,
holding with this foundation that they
yep,
care about the client. And by the
yes,
way, if you sell any other kind of life insurance, you make way more commission, like just way more commission. These people are about getting you to become a sovereign citizen. That's what their whole thing is about. That, like, that was what Nelson's. I, you have to remember, I think he said, I've seen so many interviews of his, but at one time he said he was an Austrian economics
yeah,
uh, follower for 20, 30 years before he
yeah,
got into infinite banking.
yeah,
Yeah. It's just
yeah.
amazing stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yes, it's huge.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely huge. But yes, the hand holding. The only other place I've seen that is crypto.
Crypto. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only other place that I've seen
Yeah.
that type of unity, whether you fly one flag or you fly them all or whatever your top shelf coin is, doesn't matter. We're all cryptopians. We're all under
That's
one
it.
house, one roof. Even though we might not agree on some things, it doesn't matter.
And
It's all crypto, man. It's all
it's
digital
it.
assets,
And
man.
I know this is going to come across negative, but I don't want it to be negative. But I just
Slave.
am sick and tired of fellow cryptopians bagging on
Oh,
other cryptopians.
yeah.
We need
Yep.
to get bigger than that.
Yep.
And I know bagging on people that bag on people is bagging. Put it that way. But
Yeah.
it's so But it's so important to understand that they're not going to do it for us. We have to pull this off, man. This
Yeah.
is so important to the future
Yeah.
of our kids.
Yeah.
And I don't, you know, I've had an incredible life, just an incredible life. And I want everybody to have the opportunity to have the life that I had and having, should say. I'm not acting like my life is over, but and it becoming your own bank, I don't know anything more freeing than that. I really don't. Even crypto wealth isn't going to allow you to be free. You're going to have to play their debt slave game, just in a bigger tax bracket. You know, you've got to figure, we're going to go down the road of trusts. That's to come, guys. We're going to get into trust. We're going to get into the actual application of this. We're going to get whiteboard with you guys. We're going to show you how and what to do and how much percentage of where you can do what and how you can move this money into these accounts and how much that returns and brings back to you. All of that is to come. And if we have to, we'll do this a couple nights a week, but we just want everybody to learn at their own pace, figure it out, become confident, understand what you're doing, and just know that you're going through this with a bunch of other people. You're not a lone ranger. You know, even though we may turn you on to a guy or somebody that is going to be the pro, and that person is going to be under our watch. We're going to say, hey, well, wait a minute. Oak is with us, man. What are you doing to my boy here, man? What? You know, so you're going to be part of a family going forward forever.
Yeah.
Community forever.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what our plan is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yep. That's 100% nail on the head. And I know some of you that are in this chat and others that will be listening to this later, I'm sure. I know some of y'all got my phone number out there.
Yeah.
You got any questions?
Yeah.
You know, you can 100% call. And that number will be given out later, but to others that don't have it. But you know, you can hit me up on YouTube, find a video, lay a comment in there or whatever. But that's future things. You know, get the book. Slave had a question, I think. There, Alan. 736.
Oh, let's see.
Oh, okay. So what does infinite banking will be our own banks by what? Oh, mean? I think he meant mean in there. Banks because I got here late or on phones or like a cold store or on a cold storage wallet. Actually you could kind of do that in the future. I know you'll be able to you can do that now in DeFi technically. You have asset, you can. You're not collateralizing it per se, but you're allowing the use of that asset temporarily, and you are bringing in a residual reward income per se at that point with cryptos. You just do a small amount, you know, when you're doing those things. But there's actually a lot of bleed over of this becoming your own banker process that is 110% over in the crypto space right now. The how to do it, the mechanics obviously are different, but the principles are literally the same.
They are.
You will find a lot of bleed over information in this.
There's with all these new monetary products that are coming our way, ETFs come to mind and massive institutions. Believe it or not all massive institutions are bad. I really like, there's a lot of what Fidelity does. Simon and I are going to go over some of these strategies going forward when there are more people that actually have policies in our group. We'll get more creative about how to make a buck and what to do next and Simon has a brilliant idea about obtaining crypto with this whole thing. And that we'll save that for next show. right?
God,
Some,
don't think I've already tempted to do it right now.
I know, but the old dog has to get off this thing sooner or later, man.
No. I'm talking about me. I got my loan, man. It's chilling. And I was like, oh, I should totally. Yeah, I'm fighting myself right now. Like, I have a plan. This was my plan. That was not my plan.
Right.
But it's a good plan. It's a really good
And
plan.
the market's down. So yeah, it's good timing. Brian, I have not read Hijacking Bitcoin, but I've heard a lot of the excerpts out of the book, and yeah. Our buddy Roger, man, he's in a lot of hot water right now. Anyway, that sucks with what happened to him recently. Yep. Joseph, we appreciate you, brother. Good to see you in here, man. What do we got? Who else we got in here? Slave, thank you for response times. I speak too fast. My voice doesn't pick up properly. My apologies.
He's on his phone. Yeah. Slave's on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see how buying rental properties can make you wealthier with this. How does buying a new? Oh, yeah. I want to take Thomas Schultz's question. 733. I'll just read off the top here. Alan, you let me know when you got to do a hard stop, man. You can just hit the red button and we can give them the deuces and
hit the red button.
Because
733.
Yeah, you can hit the red button.
No.
Thomas Schultz.
735.
Right above Bobby T and below. No, 730. No, not Oak. Thomas Schultz, just below it. A little bit more above that. Three above that one. But yeah, Oak had it there too, I think.
Oh, Thomas Schultz. Got it. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I can see how buying a rental property can make you wealthier with this. How does buying a new car make you money? I know you're paying yourself back with interest, but where does that money come from? Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Take a deep breath.
Go
ahead.
Pull the old chip out and try and put a new chip in listening to this.
Yeah. This is a deep breath and new thought. Okay, now first off, what you must understand that there are two people here in this transaction, okay? Person / entity number one is the bank. You are the owner of that bank, okay? Second, there's the borrower, the debtor, which happens to be you, okay? Now, the money comes from you, the debtor, borrower, paying back your business, the bank that you own, that payment. That comes from however you get your money now. Think about it like this. You're already making your car payment to JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, such and such credit union, wherever. Okay.
Right.
They get all the money. Okay. That bank does. The bank that you don't own.
Principal
have no rights to, right? Principals and interest. Exactly. So with this process, we're flipping the script. That money that would have gone to JP Morgan Chase and Friends is now going into your bank, earning compounding interest. Okay. Now, first, how do you get there? Well, you have to capitalize your bank first. You have to be you have to these are my words, okay? My words for capitalize. You have to deposit. You have to invest in your business, right? And that's a bank, okay? Mm-hmm. Once you have enough capital over there as a bank owner, you make a decision. Yes, Mr. Simon says crypto. We would love for you to have a 2010 Toyota Scion XB gray with all the whistles. Go ahead. How much do you need? I need $5,000. Okay, great. We have $5,000. Here you go. It goes from the bank that I own to me, a borrower. I get the car. I own the car. And now my day job, whatever that is, goes back to pay back my bank. The profit that my bank makes is the the indifference in money, in interest. Okay. And what I mean by the indifference, and I mean this, or the difference in interest is this. Okay. And I'll give you a real example right here, right now, because mine just happened. Okay. I just took a loan from my bank. Okay. My policy, my contract for $1,000. Okay. Because I want to test the waters. The interest rate that the insurance company is charging my bank is 5.65%. Okay. That's how much the interest, or how much interest the insurance company, the lender, is charging my bank, the other lender, that eventually went to me, the debtor. Another way this would work is like this. You have the Federal Reserve, you have JP Morgan Chase, and you have yourself.
Right.
The Federal Reserve lends money to JP Morgan Chase because they have collateral. Okay. Then they eventually give you the money. Okay. When I, the debtor,
Technically, that's not how it works, but yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah. Yes, they do other things there too. But for the sake of simplicity,
right,
this is how it goes. When I, the debtor, pay back, when I pay my bank back, right? My bank is actually charging way more interest than 5.65%. My bank's charging 15% interest on that money, right?
Yeah.
Because my bank put up the collateral to get the loan from the Federal Reserve. So every time that I, the debtor, right, the borrower for the car, I pay that payment to my bank takes that money, it divides it up. Here, Uncle Federal Reserve, there's your cut, and here's my cut. Goes in my little pocket. Yeah, put it to work, baby. Make it compound. This is how you can become arguably wealthy with a car. Okay. The difference with the real estate, okay,
there's another thing you're missing, though. There's another thing you're missing in there. Okay. When you pay yourself back in interest, okay, that money that you're paying yourself back should be equal to or greater than the money in which you borrowed it at, correct? Okay. At the end of the 3 years to pay your $5,000 back, or whatever your payment schedule is, with interest, okay, you now are standing there with the money for the car to rebuy a new car if you chose to, okay, and the pink slip of the car. The difference in doing that with any other banking institution is you don't end up with the principal back ever. Now, I know you could go pay cash for it and the same thing would occur. I got that. What you're not seeing in this equation is, number one, the compounding, but you're also not seeing the dividend that's possibly going to happen. But what you're able to do is the number one thing that makes this world move. And that is, you're able to borrow money to make money. Okay. All money, like I said earlier in the show, all money either pays interest or earns interest.
So let's go back to that where you're talking about right now, that loan the bank gave, your bank gave you, and you paid your bank back with interest. Correct. Pay yourself back interest. Was your bank profitable? Yes or no?
Yes.
So your bank made money.
It made money.
Correct.
It made money from you, technically.
Yes. There's that part number one. There's part number one.
Because what's the number one rule in the whole book? Pay yourself first.
And then pay yourself back with interest.
And then pay yourself back with interest. When you do that, you end up with the whole principal back. Let's remember, banks don't care about the interest rate. They want the money back so they can use the money again for the next tool. Okay. So making money on cars is difficult, unless you look and you say, oh, well, wait a minute. Toyota would have charged me 9% or higher. And I got a loan for 5%, 5.5% in your case. Well, I
Your
charged
bank
myself.
did, yes.
Yeah, your bank did. So, and that I paid myself 7.5%, which is still 2.5% cheaper than Toyota would have charged me. So in that sense, you made more money. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, you did twice, actually.
That's right.
You made it twice, okay? And this is something you made it twice. Let's bring that up next time because that'll lose people.
It will, yeah. It will lose.
I don't want. Sorry for the cliffhanger, fam. I really am, but
it's a hard thing to explain until you see it on money, and until you see it on a ledger. When you see it on the ledger,
not even on a ledger. My challenge to you, everybody out there, right here, right now, and I know a lot of people have heard me say this, not as frequent or as passionate or as passionate. Anytime anybody gives you any money at all, that means you get paid on payday. Someone pays you back $20, whatever it is. If money passes through these fingers on the intake, do this. Set aside 10%, no less than 10% of what comes to you. And you put that literally in a physical pile. And you watch that grow. And then this is going to happen. But then I want you to do step number 2. I want you to borrow from that pile of cash that you had. Now, you're going to have to do this for like at least a month or 2, okay? Pay yourself first. 10%, no less, okay? So here's how I do the process of pay yourself first. First, I figured out, well, how much is 10% of my check that I get? Now, you guys might go, dude, I can't do that, man. All of my money goes out. It's like, yes, you can. Just have to really look at the budget and a few other things, but lock this down. It is a must.
Yeah.
Go to your bank, pull out at least 10% of your funds. If it's not down to the dollar and there's pennies, then round up to the nearest 20. That way it's even money, okay? Just pull it out.
Right.
Go to a grocery store somewhere else and divvy it up if you want to be really technical. But pull it out nonetheless. Come home, stick it somewhere safe that at least you feel safe. I don't know, man. I don't know your situation, but do this. Now, what you're doing is more important than the money you're actually pulling out. And that is you are disciplining your mind and creating a pivotal habit that you must have to do this. And that's pay yourself first. When you do that, step number 2, enjoy yourself a little bit, meaning give yourself congratulations to watch that little pile grow.
Mm-hmm.
Step number 3 is this. I want you to borrow some money from that pile. Borrow. And when you borrow some money from that, you're going to now dip your toe. You're going to dip your toe into the banker's world. When you borrow $100, you are going to find a tiny little piece of paper or something, and you're going to write your a loan. You're going to say $100 at X amount of percent, and then you'll have a brand new total. So if I charge myself 10% on that, my repayment back to that pile of money, my bank, is $110. You got to go, bro?
No.
Okay. Do that.
Starting to get dark here.
What are you talking about? Sun still. Oh, you live in the hills. I live. Yeah.
Well, it's dark in this office.
Does the chupacabra come out in your neighborhood?
No, not yet.
No, just okay, cool. So that step number 3, when you borrow the $100, go spend it on something. Go do it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Heck, go buy some crypto.
No. I got a better idea for the spending of it. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
I love that. By the way, people that aren't good at that, practice what he just explained. Those 3 steps. Yeah. If you're not a good saver, do what Simon just said. Rewind and listen to everything he just said and try it. because it will change the way you look at money for sure. There's a little trick that I was taught a long time ago, and it works. If you want to generate more money in your life, okay, this is a trick that you can play on your mind. Put $100 in your wallet, whatever your denomination, okay? Put it in your wallet, and when you walk around through life or your day, and you go in a store and you go, I could buy that. I can afford that. I've got $100. That's only $79. I could own that.
Smart. I know where you're going with this. Good play.
I could buy that. I could buy that over there. I could buy that. What that teaches you, okay, is it teaches you that you are wealthy. It doesn't teach you that you're poor. It gives you a mindset of, you can call it law of attraction. You can call it whatever you want. But what happens is you start to train yourself, the number one, that you are worthy of it. Number one. Number two, it starts to give you a feeling of, I'm comfortable. I'm doing well. I'm doing good in life. Look at all these things I could have afforded, and I didn't find that I really needed them. Like, because, I didn't buy the $79 pair of shoes or whatever it was. Okay. When you can do that for a month, if you could do that a month straight with $100 bill, it will absolutely change the way you live your life. Yep. I learned from a very, how do I put this? Spiritual teacher. Amazing.
Yeah, that's great. No, that's great, because that, in my opinion, I've done that. I've done things like that. I give myself that security of it's right there. That $100 is right there if I want it or I need it. But here's what happens if you decide to reach into that wallet. That doesn't happen with any other things that we might use today, debit cards specifically, debit cards or credit cards. When you pull out that $100 to give to somebody for some other thing, there's this moment where you look in your wallet and you're like, you breathe deep and you're like, you kind of feel a little, you're not feeling right. I was going to say you're feeling a little downsy, but that's not the correct term. You're I know that's bad term, very bad term. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
That. But you kind of think about your purchase one more time. You're like, I don't need that. What? You said you were going to give it. Yeah, I don't care, man. This is way more important to me than that crap right there. Now you've just done an evolution on so many levels with yourself. It's amazing. And you won't really recognize it then. It'll be later. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, Alan, thank you so much for passing the buck on to me. Yeah. That's great. Because that's tough. That's tough. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, do that.
It makes you feel worthy. It makes you feel worthy in life. It makes you feel like you have a lot of money, and it's like, hey, I got more than I thought I did.
Security. It's security.
Security.
And something else will happen with that too, because that happens to me with the pay yourself first. That little pie. Two things happened. What Alan was talking about in my mind, I knew I had a little money, right?
Yeah.
Just in case. Okay. But my second step was to that of, if just in case happens, that's a loan, because the credit card companies do it to me all day. I get some little, some punk that slashes my tires on my ride. A credit card company don't care about that. Sorry, man, but you swipe the card because you need four new hoops for your whip. I'm like, there you go. Guess what happens?
Exactly.
Well, there goes some interest over to across the street.
Yeah.
Do yourself like they do you, right? Because they love it when you come to their store.
Yeah.
Start the same thing.
We could save this for another show, but
let's do that. Let's do that, because I know you got to go.
I got such a brilliant story I want to tell you guys.
Good.
But
let's bring it in.
Manny showed up.
I know, Manny. We got to get Manny on.
In the house.
I'd love to get Manny on. I'd love to get
Manny on.
JV on, and I'd love to get Elizabeth back on. At some point, I know they're on the dip of toe, but I'd love just to kind of hear their updates and their own personal stuff. I know JV is going to be on. He says that he just needs a 1 week notice for what Tuesday.
Yeah.
I know we have another individual that would like to come on too. I was thinking we could probably have both of them on another time.
Yeah, we'll pull that
probably
off
together. Sure. Yeah, I think we could pull that off for sure.
I want to give a quick answer to Dan Hall's question here.
Yeah. What's Dan Hall's question?
How would my silver come into play in this? And
yes,
yeah, there's a multitude of different ideas to do this, but the best thing to do, I would think, tell me what you think, Simon, is if you don't have a stockpile of precious metals that you would like, and you want to pay it off in time, this is a brilliant way to do that. You can because in particular, if you think that silver is going to double over the next 6 months or something like that, you want, instead of DCAing in, you could take 10 or 20 grand or whatever your number is in your account, and you could buy 20 grand worth all at once, right? And then you could pay yourself back, and then you're going to end up with all your cash back, and you're going to end up with the silver. So that would be one way I would do it with silver. What were you thinking?
Well, aside from make sure you pay yourself interest on that. Yeah.
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 Then,
But yes, no, that was the first, Alan, that was the first thing that I thought of with this. And it hit me within seconds. As soon as, I got through like the first introduction, page 3 on the book, I got through that. And I said different choice of words here, but I was like, holy buckets. I have a thing that I can send my hard-earned money to.
That's right.
It's going to grow for me. Awesome. When the time comes and I'm watching my crypto charts every now and again, slightly obsessively, compulsively, maybe. And I see, I see back in March of this year, and I go, hot diggity dog. That market's probably going to go down a little bit. This is the time.
Boom.
Fred, I need the 20K. No questions asked, by the way. It comes over. And then I get it into the appropriate places, and I wait patiently for the market to do what it did. And I execute my orders. And now I have the crypto lock, stock, and barrel cold storage wherever I got. And now here comes the beautiful part. The market starts to turn upwards, right? Okay, prices are going up. People everywhere, they're FOMOing in, man. They're throwing everything they can just to get a little taste of this awesome crypto world. Meanwhile, I am paying back over time back to my bank. I'm paying back at the price that I locked in that I got, say XRP at 40 cents. Why everybody else is a couple years later, they're it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I like that play. It's awesome.
It's a great play.
Very awesome.
And the other great thing is
it's one of the go ahead.
I was showing the cover to Dan. It's a great play, Simon, like you said, because the thing is, let's say you'd done that with silver 6 months ago, a year ago, and it's nearly doubled, right? So now as soon as it doubles, you can pay the loan back. Now you own it.
You can take half your silver. Take half the silver that you got. Boom. Here you go. Here's the loan back. I'm good to go. That was free silver. Hello. That was literally free silver. You didn't have to do Jack. Yeah. You didn't have to do nothing for that, bro.
Nope.
Sorry, I'm getting excited.
And on top of that, the 20 grand was compounding.
While you went and got the stuff.
You bought
man.
It's really the blessings of leverage. You are without paying through the nose for leverage. You're creating your own leverage. That's beautiful, man.
That's right.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is. And again, I want to
Nelson. The great part is okay. So you still have to, and now you're back to zero. You paid yourself back with interest, let's say. So now you've got more money in there. And then you look for your next opportunity. You're hunting. You're hunting around the
Yeah.
whole time. It's like, well, I don't know, boy. Crypto dropped to, I never forget this. In 2021, middle of 2020, I'm yelling at my UPS driver to buy Bitcoin when it was at $5,000. I'm yelling at the man. And thankfully he bought some. Thankfully, but when something opportunity like that comes along, it's like, okay, I'm going to sell some of that silver. I'm going to pay the account back. And now I'm going to, okay, now I'm flush on the silver and I'm sitting over here and okay, cool. Now I've got 20 or 30 grand that I could put and I could buy 4 Bitcoin or 5 Bitcoin or whatever it is. Boom. You're just parlaying it and you're doubling down all the time and you're just working. You're making money work for you. My favorite part about what we're doing here, Simon, is we're creating
so much fun.
We're creating a group here, and I don't know how many people are going to show up for this, but it's going to be fun anyway. But we're creating an investment group of sorts. Now we're not all going to pool our money,
Wealth
do
builders.
anything like
I
that.
would call us wealth builders. That's
Wealth
what I would call it.
Yeah,
we are wealth builders. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we're going to find a way to find incredible investments, and there are a bunch of them out there. As I talked to you, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, there's some opportunities out there.
There is.
Yeah.
Riddle me, Jay. You're right there with the practicing principles. This is definitely a play for you. A lifelong play, generational play, much like crypto is too. This is very, very good. And I want to I actually do want to take this moment real quick right now just to say, R. Nelson Nash, thank you so very much for this knowledge. And I thank all the IBC practitioners out there that are spreading this knowledge to the people. And I do say IBC practitioners with intent because those are the ones that have been trained in the ways of this process. They know the full deal with Bill McNeil. And with that, I rest my case.
Thank you. And I want to give Riddle a comment here. First of all, thanks for coming tonight. The beautiful thing about that is almost all your crypto channels will tell you, okay, well, all right, it's hit the Fibonacci level and we're there. So sell your coins, or what is it? What's his name always says? Lick your ice cream, right? Take some profits, right? And then stack your money on the side until it goes down and then get back in and then, double up. And
sure.
Why do all that? Why do all that when you can keep the coins the whole time and then you can borrow against it? And the dollar amount that you're doing is compounding while you're doing it, plus dividends. I mean, this whole thing is a better way of, instead of trying to predict the market and get in and out all the time, which is creating a taxable event for you, by the way, every time you get in and out of that thing. This is perfect. I'm telling you guys, we're not sharing all this with you because of any other reason that we think it's just going to be brilliant for all of you. That, again, going back to the beginning of the middle of the show there, this isn't for everybody. This is for people that want to be responsible for their own wealth. These are for people that want to be diligent. They want to take their life in their own hands, and they want freedom back, and they want freedom from the system. And if you want that, this is a way to get it. And that's
Oak,
what this show's about.
That's right. Oak, your statement there, as long as you can cover the payments, I would love. I have some context on that. I want to address that, but let's talk about that next week.
We will.
I want to talk. I want to touch on it because there's just another benefit to this whole process that is awesome.
And honestly, there's some leeway in that as well, but we'll get into that next week.
Yeah, both of those right there are tied together. Oak, we're going to come back to that for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. What do you think, Simon? Should we call that a? I don't know. How
Yeah,
long
man.
we've
Can we go like 20 minutes more so I can win my bet with my wife? I'm just kidding.
Well,
No.
I will-
Let's
no,
wrap
just
it up.
tell her. Let's just tell her I was 20 minutes late and you're good. Yeah, which I was.
No, wait. No, she's listening right now, dude. I can't. She knows me. She's like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
You're out $3, dude.
No,
Okay.
I think we're good here. I know we've dropped a lot of knowledge on them, guys. Seriously, watch this again. Till next week, just watch it. There's pieces. There's lots of stuff. I know there might be some choppiness to it, but we're just trying to hone in, see where you guys are at, give the knowledge we have, talk about it, reiterate again and again and again and again. So can we enable live chat for the replay? I don't know, Alan, can you enable the live chat on the YouTube for a replay?
Let's see. I'm sure I can. Not sure how to do it exactly, but I'll figure it out. Yes. 1111 prosperity number. I believe in that. Life with Glee, man. Sorry you're late, brother. You can listen to it over again. Riddle, thanks for watching my other channel. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. You should check out Simon's show.
Oh, thank you. Hey, yeah, appreciate the follow. Yep. I'm on a couple of shows.
I've got to say this before we go. On my Patreon, my wife and I do a master class on the book. And it's really well written, guys. It's really well written. And she reads it out. We kind of talk about it and we go through it. And it's really good stuff. So if you want a little more condensed out of a book process of what is in the book, I highly recommend checking out. If you're already a Patreon member, check it out on my Patreon. And we post those a couple of times a week. We're going to try and get to eventually. Right now, we're only at like 3 episodes posted, but we're going to keep moving on those. So with that, Simon, what do you think? Let's call it a successful night. And if we get enough people that are really pounding us on this, we have another maybe Thursday night open that we could do this when we really get rolling.
Actually, that would be a sweet spot to do another show for sure.
Yeah. And we're going to have professional guests on, and we're going to have people that know more about it than we do. And we're learning with you, and we're teaching and learning together. It's going to be fun. All right. With that, Simon, what do you say?
We are out.
We are out.